Why doesn't Louis trust me?
Oh, I don't think you want me to say it.
No, come on, tell me. If you don't, there's no way I'll find out.
He thinks that you're just coming by the house and being nice to me just because you want to see Maggie.
Uh-huh, and what do you think about that?
None of us, not even you, wants to wake up one day and suddenly realize that it's too late. Do me one big favor, will you?
Well, what is it?
Waltz. Waltz to the music while you still can.
Say, listen, any chance of your moving out to the house with Rachel and Steve?
Oh, no way. I don't even know where Rachel got that idea.
Well, obviously, she wants you to live with her.
Yeah, well, I can't do that. I mean, there'll be enough headstrong people out there as it is. They don't need me.
Hey, dear.
Mm-hmm. What?
Rachel's happy, isn't she?
Ah, bon. Oh. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Cecile, you know, all of my life, I have been very cautious and suspicious of people's motives.
You're talking about Sandy now, aren't you?
Yes, and about everybody, with one exception.
Who's the exception?
You.
Me? Well, thank you. That's very flattering.
It was not meant to be flattery. It was meant to be truth. You are my daughter. And it has taken us a long time to finally be together like this. I have wonderful plans for you, and they have nothing to do with flattery.
Louis, tell me why you don't trust Sandy.
I like Sandy very much.
I know you like him.
And one of the reasons I like him is that he seems to represent happiness for you. And more than anything in this world, I want you to be happy.
I know you do. Thank you. Louis, I can't tell you how relieved I am to have you in my life, to confide in and depend on, especially when my life is in the shape it's in.
You don't have to tell me that. Cecile, I must ask you a very cruel question.
What?
Are you sure that Sandy is seeing you because of his old feelings are building up, or does he really want to be near Maggie? Hmm?
Oh, my goodness, Louis. I think I have inherited from you your innate caution. But...
Ah. I take it then you have some doubts on your own.
maybe in a few days or so.
What do you mean, a few days?
Well, certainly I'd have to get him away from here. There are too many pressures around this place. And he did say last week, just a few days ago, really, that he might...
Cecile, you are being very mysterious.
I know
huh?
I am. I'm sorry.
What did Sandy say last week? Huh?
I can't tell you, Louis. But if I can prove, if there is a way that I can prove that Sandy is back in my life, that he can be trusted, I'm going to find that way. I'll do it.
And I want this story that Brava is doing on the breakup of the company and the vice ring in Bay City to be approached as much as possible from the human interest point of view. After all, everyone already knows what ultimately happened. Jason and Ilsa are dead, unfortunately the victims of their own greed. Steve Frame is alive, despite the dangerous chances he took to break up the ring. But what interests me, what I think will fascinate our readers, is what was the motive behind each one of these people. I mean, what lay behind Jason's apparently self-contradictory actions?
In other words, putting more emphasis on the cause rather than the effect.
Exactly. And Steve Frame, what were the personal characteristics of Steve that drove him to expose himself to that kind of danger? These are the elements that make a really great story. I mean, events repeat themselves more or less in the same manner. But the personal reasons behind those events, that will always differ.
That sounds good, Mac.
And then, the next important point. Oh, excuse me. Where was I?
No,
Oh,
never.
yeah, thank you. Oh, yes, Bravo wants to include in the article a follow-up on the prostitutes who worked for Ilsa.
Oh, I think that's extremely important. After all, the company flourished because of them.
Yes. And what happens to them? Are they jailed? Are they shown leniency? Is there any offer of help to rehabilitate them?
And what are they going to do with their lives now?
Exactly. I mean, what, specifically, turned these young girls to prostitution in the first place?
Mac, could I ask you a question?
Certainly.
Well, I know that Sandy has been working on this story for a couple of months. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I don't understand, why he isn't here. I mean, where is he? Shouldn't he be here?
This part of Another World is brought to you by High Point, the decaffeinated coffee with deep brewed flavor. High Point, it's the coffee lover's decaffeinated.
You are not going to tell me your plans, huh?
Louis, I can't. I can't tell you until I'm sure that I can swing it. I think I can.
Well, I wish you every success with your efforts.
Thank you.
Good morning, Elena. Look how lovely you look this morning.
Well, my goodness, aren't you here bright and early, Louis?
Yes, I had to be in town early, so I wanted to stop by and see Cecile.
Oh, I have to be in town, too.
Hello?
Good morning, Elena. This is Brian.
Brian, good morning. How are you?
Fine. I didn't disturb you, did
Oh, no, of course not. I was just getting ready to go into the complex.
Are you free for lunch today?
Yes, I am.
I? Good. Then will you join me?
Well, all right, fine. If you could make it around 1 o'clock.
Fine. I'll pick you up at 1. Bye.
Goodbye, Brian. Cecile, if you want to use my car, I'll drive you into town. Then someone can drop me off on the way home.
Where's your car?
Well, as a matter of fact, it's being tuned up. No, Elena, that's quite all right. I'll have Louis drive me into town when he goes in himself. That is, if you don't mind waiting a little while until I get changed for town.
Of course, my dear.
All right, I'll just be a few minutes. Excuse me.
Take your time. Elena, may I have a word with you?
What is it?
This, Brian Bancroft. Is this something serious?
I don't think that is any of your business, Louis.
You know, I still have hopes for you and me. After all, we share a daughter and a past.
Louis, when are you going to get out of my life?
If I get out of your life, as you say, Cecile may very well come with me.
You really think you have all that much to offer our daughter?
Millions. Millions and millions of dollars. She will have a life of luxury. She will never have to worry about money for the rest of her life. She will have position and affluence.
Spending money. I mean, that's the answer to everything, in your opinion.
It is the answer to a great many things, yes.
Well, I guess I just don't really share your view of life.
And there will be much more in Cecile's life, too, besides money.
Are you referring to Sandy?
Yes.
You know, Louis, I think you and Cecile are fooling yourselves if you think Sandy Corey is interested in anything other than seeing his daughter.
Elena, you seem to have forgotten. I am very seldom fooled, and neither is Cecile.
Well, she might be in this case, involving Sandy. She's very obsessed with the idea of holding on to him, and I think it's blinded her.
I wouldn't be too sure about that.
Blaine, I'd like to go over your notes with you after you've interviewed some of the girls.
Certainly, Mac.
Thanks so much for all your time, Susan.
I'll walk out with you, Mac.
Oh, thank you.
Susan, tell me, why do prostitutes take to the street anyway? I've always wondered that.
There are a variety of reasons, you know.
Mac, I'm sorry about Sandy. I can't figure it out.
Neither can I.
Is there anything I can do for you?
No, but thank you.
You know, Sandy must have some other reason for seeing Cecile besides Maggie.
Well, I can't think what it is, and he certainly hasn't told me.
Well, look, don't cut him off, okay? He is your son.
At the moment, I wish you weren't. Say, listen, any chance of your moving out to the house with Rachel and Steve?
Oh, no way. I don't even know where Rachel got that idea.
Well, obviously, she wants you to live with her.
Yeah, well, I can't do that. I mean, there'll be enough headstrong people out there as it is. They don't need me. Anyway, I like my independence.
Hey, dear.
Mm-hmm. What?
Rachel's happy, isn't she?
Yeah. She is happy.
Hello, Sandy.
Hi, Brian.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah. What's up?
Well, I'm a little pressed for time today, so I'll try to make this as brief as possible.
Have a seat, thanks.
But I talked to Ed Benedict, and he's due in for this meeting, too.
Where is he?
I don't know. Obviously held up somewhere. But maybe he'll show up by the time we finish.
Fine. Has there been some new development?
Yes, there has. Although Interpol doesn't know exactly what it signifies.
Oh, Brian, what is it?
Johann Nordman has joined Albert and Fred in Bay City.
Johann Nordman?
Albert's brother, Fred's uncle.
Well, where'd this guy come from?
Berlin?
Berlin, huh? Well, does Interpol know what he's doing in Bay City?
Well, it could mean a gathering of the forces, so to speak, which in turn means that they think that Louis may attempt a major sale of his art.
Oh, so Albert and Fred want to depend on the family now instead of bringing in hired guns who might botch the job.
Right. So what do you know about the art collection at this stage?
Not much, Brian. Listen, I'm getting too deeply involved with Cecile, Brian, and a lot of people are getting hurt.
I know, Sandy, and I'm sorry it has to be like this. I can only suspect what Blaine's going through, even though she knows what you're doing. But I know what my old friend Mac is going through.
And it is really hard on Dad. I just wish that I could tell him the truth, Brian.
No, I'm sorry. You can't. Now remember our deal. Only Blaine and no one else.
I know that, Brian, but if we could just include Dad...
Sandy, I've discussed this over and over again with Ed and Rick, and they say absolutely no. Look, Sandy, there's every indication that Louis has something in the fire again. A new deal. But so far, I don't know with whom. Does Cecile know?
No, I'm almost positive she doesn't. I bet my last dollar on it.
But, Sandy, you indicated to me that Cecile has Louis pretty much in her pocket.
She does, Brian. I'm sure that she could get Louis to tell her where that art collection is hidden, if she wanted to.
She's not interested?
Oh, she's interested in the $100 million that the art is worth, but I don't think she cares where it is right now. But she knows that I would like to see the art.
Would she ask Louis to show them to you?
Yes. And she's playing games with me right now, and she's having a lot of fun doing it.
Now, what kind of games?
Well, Louis is a very cautious man.
That's the reason he stayed alive all these years and one step ahead of the Nordmans.
Yeah, well, if Cecile finally begins to trust me, then Louis will trust me, too. As a matter of fact, I think he might even ask me to help him dispose of the collection.
So you have to convince Cecile that your feelings for her are sincere and she can trust you.
Yeah.
Well, just how far would you have to go to prove to Cecile that you're trustworthy?
Brian, I don't even want to think about that.
Sandy, we don't have much time. We have to know where Louis has hidden the art.
The art! The art! That damned art is ruining my whole life!
Dee Dee, I want to thank you very much for your help. You helped me a lot with this article. And maybe that way you can help somebody else. Some other girl about your age and help her avoid the problems that you've had. Okay? Okay. Listen, your matron is right down the phone.
Oh, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just thought I'd stop by to see you for a few minutes.
No, you're not interrupting. Dee Dee and I are just finishing up an interview. Dee Dee, you will see Susan Shearer, won't you?
I don't know. I'll think about it. I just might. Sure. Why not?
Such a shame.
It's really tragic. I have an entire notepad here of a very sad life. It's a wonder to me that that girl has survived as long as she has. Neglect, abuse, all of it.
I wonder what road she's going to take next.
I don't know. I can only hope for the best. I do hope that she sees Susan as I asked her to.
Honey, you know, I know you're worried about this story, but I came by to stop and talk to you about something else. I wondered how things were going with Sandy. I know he's still seeing Cecile.
He sees Cecile in order to see Maggie.
Do you believe that?
I have to, Larry. Because without that, there's nothing. Hi.
Hi.
How did your meeting with Brian go?
Well, apparently there's something brewing with the Nordmans. And Brian wants me to step up getting information from Cecile. Or Louis, or both of them, for that matter.
No wonder you're in so bad a mood, huh?
Yeah. You know, it doesn't seem to matter what I do or how many people get hurt. They just keep asking me for more. You know, I can't turn my feelings on and off like Ed Benedict and those Interpol guys. You know, to them it's just a job, but we're lousing up our entire lives here.
Honey, Brian understands that. He's having the same problems, you know.
Yeah, I know. I just wish I'd never gotten involved in this thing in the first place.
Too late to back out now, isn't it?
Yeah. What's this?
Oh, Mac and I went down to the police station today to talk to Ada, and we got a whole bunch of new information for the story in Brahma.
So you interviewed one of Elsa's girls?
Oh, yeah. Oh, Sandy, her story is so sad. Sadder than I could have imagined. You know, this story here is just going to prove to everyone how cruel, how vicious the company and Ilsa and all those people are. You know, it almost makes you want to cry.
Blaine, this was my story.
I know, honey. Come on, come on. I mean, it's hard enough on Mac the way things are now, you know.
No harder than it is for me. Say, honey,
Mm-hmm.
there's some really good stuff here. This is great. Well, this kid's been through it all, hasn't she?
Yeah, she has. Honey, you know, she is lucky to be alive. I mean, she's got a lot of scars. They'll last for a long time, I'm sure. But I still am pretty hopeful that she has time to turn things around.
I'm gonna do it.
Do what?
Look, it doesn't have to be under my byline, but I'm gonna ask Dad's permission to work on the story.
Sandy.
What's the matter, honey?
I don't think it'd be a very good idea to do that. Mac is in pretty bad shape now.
Come.
Excuse me, Mac.
Oh, yes. What is it, Liz?
Your housekeeper, Mrs. Oliver, just called from the new apartment. It seems that Amanda's furniture has arrived, it is in place, and looks beautiful.
Oh, that's fine.
Now, the whole apartment is ready.
I'm so glad. It'll be good to have Amanda with me again.
Oh, sure it will be. And it'll be good for you to be out of that big house. Sometimes a change is good for you.
I have to go out to the house this afternoon. There's still some things to pack up.
Aren't there always? It seems as if we always forget something. It's endless moving.
Sit down, Liz. Tell me what's happening at the Matthews house
Oh,
these days?
things are wonderfully working. So smooth, so well. Sally, Susan, Julia, you know. And it makes me so happy. I'm thrilled. I come home to a house full of people and life.
That's wonderful. And what about Julia?
Oh, she's absolutely splendid. She's cooperative and helpful. Not a cross word to anyone. I'm so proud of her.
I'm glad to hear that, Liz.
Yes, I mean, we'd all given up on Julia, and her attitude seemed to change completely. You know, the relationship between Susan and Julia is so good now that Susan may decide she can return home.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Oh, Jamie came to dinner the other night with Stacy. I hope you'll be able to come to dinner soon.
I would like that very much. I understand Stacy is helping Jamie on the legal aspects of his new book.
Yes, she is. You know what I think, Mac? I think Jamie has turned out to be a sensitive, intelligent, interesting young man.
Yes, indeed, he has.
Oh, look at me, just rambling on about my own affairs and wasting your precious time. Is there anything else I can take care of for you?
No, thank you, Liz. I think that's everything. Thanks very much for the message. Maybe I'll move tonight.
Mac, how would you feel about a housewarming party? Just a few close old friends?
It's very nice of you to suggest that, but right now I'd prefer not. Thank you anyway. Maybe at a later time.
Hi, Liz. Hi, Dad.
Can I help you?
Dad, I want to work on the story with you and Blaine. It was my story, after all.
But not anymore.
I still think I can bring something to it, Dad. Look, I'm not asking for a byline, but I put a lot of time and sweat into that story.
Sandy, can't you understand how impossible you've made it for me to even see you these days? What is it, Liz?
Mac, I just saw Cecile heading down the hall.
Oh, no.
Stay tuned for the next part of Another World. And now, the next part of Another World.
You've got dirt on your face, Blaine. All right, so I got a little dirt on my face. So what? Just thought I'd tell you. You don't have to take offense. Cecile, if you came here to see me, you've seen me. Now get out of here. I hate to disappoint you, Blaine, but you're just about the last person in the world I want to see. At last, we have something in common. We can't stand the sight of each other. Oh, you're right about that. Cecile, why don't you go somewhere? Why don't you leave and go somewhere far away and give us all a rest? Will you do that? Goodness. Aren't we vicious? No, you've got that the other way around. You're the vicious one, but I could be quite an expert if I had you as a teacher.
I came to see Sandy. He's not in his office, and I thought he might be here.
If you can see him here, fine. If you can't, goodbye. Again.
Where is he?
He's obviously not here. Now, if you want to go try to find him on your own, you're welcome to do that.
I think I'll do that, yes.
Do it. Of course, you are taking your life in your hands, walking around the Corey complex without a bodyguard. How's our old friend Alma? Been keeping in touch?
I have no idea where she is, and I couldn't care less.
Oh, I doubt that. As a matter of fact, I suspect you've had some pretty sleepless nights wondering where she is, wondering whether or not she's coming back to Bay City to tell everybody the truth about you. Of course, it's not really necessary now. Everyone has a pretty clear picture of you.
I don't have to stand here and listen to this.
You sure don't, so get out of here.
It's been a very civil conversation, Cecile. You should see me when I get really mad. Sandy, you're just in time. Cecile here is still in one piece. Now you two can chat about Maggie all you want. Listen, tell me, have you figured out what college you're gonna send her to yet?
Wait.
All right. Now, what does Interpol have on Johann Norton?
A suspected war criminal, but records were destroyed. There's no proof.
The Nazis were certainly adept at destroying records and evidence about themselves, weren't they?
Yes, they saw the end coming. There's a very strong suspicion that over the years, Johann has been involved in so-called black market art.
Precisely what was his involvement?
Well, evidently, he served as an agent, a go-between between art thieves and buyers.
So now he's here in Bay City.
That's right. I've got a piece of interesting information to add to all this.
Oh? What is it?
Well, Fred Nordman has been tailed on several occasions. And he's been seeing quite a bit of a young woman named Mary Lou Williams. She works as secretary for the director of the Alice Cannon Museum.
Well, there's nothing there, now that the museum has refused to acquire the St. George collection. Yet it seems hardly coincidental that Fred Norton would be seeing her.
Exactly.
Well, has Interpol told Mary Lou Williams about the man she's been seeing?
No, we don't think that's a wise move.
Well, don't you think it's wise that she be alerted somehow? Who knows but what he's after something from her?
Yeah, well, we haven't alerted her because we feel she might slip and tell Fred that she's been contacted by Interpol. I mean, who knows how much this guy has charmed the lady. We do know that the Nordmans will stop at little to get what they want.
Well, I suppose you have a good point there.
Now, how is Sandy Corey making out about the information concerning Louis St. George?
Sandy feels as we do that Louis is getting ready to make a new deal.
Does he know where the paintings are hidden?
As soon as he knows, we'll know. He's still working on trying to find out.
Now, who would Louis have lined up as a prospective buyer, huh? Who?
Where did you get this picture?
I took it in a rather obscure and tasteless diner named Smiley's.
What do you think, Johann? I think this is the man, but I can't be absolutely certain.
Well, if that is Henry Davenport, Louis will make a deal fairly soon. I'm pretty convinced of it.
The man that I only saw that one time in Europe is reputed to have an underground art gallery that is rivaled by some of the best museums in Europe.
That man could be the right buyer for the art that Louis stole from me.
However, I must be sure about the man on this photograph.
Well, we can stake out Smiley's again. He eats there regularly, and then you can tell if it is the man.
You think this could be the same man, Johann?
As I said before, it could be.
Then we are getting close. I think we are getting closer. Our trail is leading us closer to Louis St. George. I thought for a moment that we had lost him. That all this effort, all these years were wasted when that museum turned him down. But we'll get him.
Relax, Father. Try not to get so upset.
I can understand why Blaine attacked me. She's just hurt, and she's jealous of all the time that you've been spending with Maggie. I'm sorry I broke down like this. I didn't mean to upset you.
Cecile, if you knew it would cause a scene, why did you come?
Because I'm desperate, Sandy.
About what?
Louis has decided that he can't go away with me. But I have got to get away. My nerves are on edge. I feel like I'm on the verge of a total collapse.
Take it easy.
And besides,
Take it easy.
I'm really frightened. I really am.
Frightened about what? Is it something that Louis is involved in?
Yes. But he won't tell me what it is. I don't know. I feel like just taking Maggie up in my arms and running away with her as far away as I can possibly get.
Well, maybe I can help.
How?
Well, maybe I could help Louis with whatever it is he's involved in. What do you think of that?
Well, if you could get Louis to really trust you, he just might accept your help.
Cecile, why doesn't Louis trust me?
Oh, I don't think you'd want me to say.
No, come on, tell me. If you don't, there's no way I'll find out.
It's just that Louis feels that you're coming by the house and you're being nice to me just so that you can see Maggie.
And how do you feel about that? Cecile.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't, Sandy. I can't be sure. I mean, I don't want people accusing me of trying to get you away from Blaine.
I'm not accusing you of that, Cecile.
No. But Elena is, and everybody else is. I can't stand all this hate I feel around me. That's another reason I have to get away. But I can't, Sandy, I can't go away alone. I'm too afraid, and besides, Maggie needs protection.
Look, where is it you want to go?
I don't know. Maybe St. Lucia. Or some other small, warm little island like that. You know, Sandy, I don't dare to dream that we could ever have back what we used to have between us. But if I could just have your friendship, if I could just be sure of that.
You must know that you have that again, Cecile. It's not just Maggie that I'm interested in seeing. Don't you realize that?
I can't afford to think that way.
Why not?
Because I might get... Well, I might just be disappointed by it all, and I've had too many disappointments in my life, one after another.
Cecile, if you want to take Maggie away for a couple of days, and you're afraid to be alone, which is understandable, I'll go with you.
Don't say something you don't mean, Sandy.
I do mean it. I do. Remember when I told you that if Louis couldn't take you, that I would? Well.
You would? Well, that'd just be the kindest thing that anyone's ever done for me.
When would you like to go?
Well, I could see about some reservations right away. We might even be able to fly out tonight on their night flight, if they have one.
Tonight?
Yes, the sooner we leave Bay City, the better. And now, look, I of course, will only go as just friends. I mean, I wouldn't ask any more of you. You know that, all right?
All right. Frankly, I wouldn't mind getting out of town for a few days myself. I've been taking quite a beating from people who think I've been seeing too much of it.
I'm so sorry about that.
Is there something wrong with your salmon?
Oh, no, it's delicious. I'm just not very hungry. Brian, I want you to tell me more about the company. Now, did the police round up all those men, get them out of town?
Most of them. But I suppose there are a few who worked on the fringes of the company's operation. You know, small-time hoodlums. Will hang out, and eventually they'll get into some trouble, and they'll be arrested.
Well, you must be very pleased about cleaning up your city.
Stephen Frame and Jason Dunlap share the credit for that. But I certainly intend to clean it up. Hey, would you like some of my shrimp?
No, I don't think so, thank you. Why don't you have some of this?
Just a taste. Thank you. This situation with Cecile and Louis has certainly put you under a terrible strain, hasn't it?
Oh. Brian, you know what I dream?
No, what?
I dream that Louis Saint-Georges is going to sell his art collection, leave Bay City, and just disappear, like all those men in the company.
I can certainly understand your feeling.
Only trouble with the dream is he'll take Cecile with him.
Are you certain of that?
I know Louis. Cecile is the most important thing in his life just now, outside of his art collection.
Well, the question is, would Cecile be willing to go with Louis?
Oh, yes. There's no doubt about it. She really does adore her father. And then, of course, there is a matter of $100 million that she will inherit when he sells that art collection.